The day after you finish throwing on the potter's wheel, you're going to have to release your pot. If you cut it off of the bat, you can take both hands and give it a twist, and it should come up fairly easily. You need to recenter it upside down. So you're going to use a pencil, turn the wheel on slow, and draw. Just put the pencil down and draw a couple of circles. You want to make sure that you're using a wooden pencil, not a mechanical pencil for this process. Then you can line up your pot on that one of those circles. If you don't have a good circle, then you can turn it on and make another one. You're going to take little bits of clay to support it onto the bat. You want to make it into 4 pieces, and it doesn't really matter what size they are so much, but you're going to take the piece of clay and you're going to put it up against the pot, but you're pushing it down onto the bat, not onto the pot. You want to hold it in place, the pot in place, so that it doesn't move when you put the pieces of clay on it, on the bat. Keeps it from moving. This will also keep it steady on the wheel. Okay. Mine's a little bit dry. I ran the kiln last night, so I'm gonna just wet this just a little bit. You shouldn't normally need to do that, but if it gets a little hard, that can be done to kind of make it a little easier to trim. Okay, I'm going to do this on slow because I want to trim. Now I'm going to use my 2 fingers. Again, I'm working at the 4 o'clock part of the clay on, like we talked about when you were doing trimming, and so I can rest this on my thumb and just start trimming the edge of it. This is going to take off little bits of clay that are, so you don't have a little rough edge there. You want it to be nice and smoothed out. You also need to take a little bit of this bottom out. So I'm going to hold it here, but I don't want to go too far out to the edge. I want a little foot. And then I'm going to take the rest of this clay out too. If your bottom is really thick, you can trim quite a ways. If your bottom isn't really thick, you don't want to trim quite as much. So you'll have to determine that, how thick it is, and I can show you how to determine how thick the base is. Going toward the center until you get rid of that little knob in the middle. Okay, you also need to you can clean the sides with your kidney scraper. To make the edges of it a lot smoother. If you like the look of the edges with your finger indentions in them, that's fine to leave that. But I want to do something interesting with the surface of this, so I want to get the texture off of it. and you'll be able to tell with your hands how much smoother it is. Last thing you want to do is to take the wooden tool and hold it on the edge of the rim. This is going to burnish it, sort of like you did with a stone when you were working with coil and hand building, but it's going to give it a nice edge so that it won't scratch a tabletop. And when you're finished, you're going to put your name in the center part. Like so. And there you have completed. You can pull the clay pieces off. And my wheel foam piece is done.